Lucky us, a client of mine has volunteered her Viome gut test results for me to do a live analysis for you. If you've been following along, you'll know that Viome is actually not my first choice for microbiome analysis, and so I thought this was a really good opportunity. Now you'll get to see exactly what information I can and cannot derive from the Viome test results, and hopefully if they end up watching this, maybe they will take on some of my suggestions and create an even better platform for all of us. So the first thing I want to look at when I'm looking at her Viome test results, I go in and I look at her overall score. So I'm looking at her overall gut health score, which is 46%, so definitely lots of room for improvement there. The next thing I want to look at is I wanted to look at microbial diversity. She has a score of 63%, so room for improvement there as well. And so for those of you who don't know, you can increase microbial diversity by increasing dietary diversity. Now, why is this important? Because the more diversity you have within your gut ecosystem, the easier it is for your microbiome to self-regulate and keep its own balance. So how are you going to increase diversity? You're going to include more colors in your diet and a wider variety of prebiotic fibers, so lots of different plant foods. And that will help increase your overall potential for health too. The next thing I wanted to look at for her was the digestive pathways, and so we've got a couple here. All of the reds are going to be priority. So the first thing we see is putrescine production not optimal, and so putrescine is an end product produced by microbes that's going to be jamming up her detox pathways, probably giving her brain fog, making her feel tired, and making us have a greater need to provide some liver support for her, and probably overall detoxification support. The next thing I see is hydrogen sulfide gas is not optimal. And so hydrogen sulfide gas is a toxic gas. It's toxic to the cells of the lining of the intestines and prevents butyrate uptake, and butyrate is the primary source of fuel for our intestinal cells. So that's not a good thing at all, and it can also cause diarrhea or constipation depending on where the overgrowth is in the digestive tract. So she'll likely need sulfur pathway support such as CoQ10, molybdenum, or B6. She might need binders to bind up the hydrogen sulfide, and we're definitely going to want to reduce whichever microbes are producing the hydrogen sulfide gas. Now that's one thing we don't get to see with this test is I don't get to click on this and see, okay, well, here are the microbes that are producing this gas. I'm going to have to go and look for that myself based on my own research and training. The next thing I see is high methane gas, and so this is going to be another priority. If I didn't know her better, I would say she's probably dealing with constipation because methane gas does slow down transit time, and so we may end up needing a prokinetic to help move things through, and we're definitely going to want to shift those microbes producing the methane gas. So ammonia, another end product of microbes, and usually ammonia is being produced due to protein putrefaction. So her protein isn't being digested properly, or maybe she just has too many protein-loving microbes. And so again, I can't see which microbes are actually producing the ammonia, so I can't see which ones we need to shift. Butyrate is average, biofilm not optimal, so she may want to use biofilm disruptors. There are lots of different like enzyme biofilm products out there. LPS average, bile acid average, oxalate metabolism not optimal. So for her, I would say until we figure out how to balance this microbial ecosystem better for her, if we can even increase the microbes that break down oxalate, she may want to take on a lower oxalate diet just for her own comfort. And then the flagellar assembly just kind of indicates that there is imbalance here. Okay, so before we leave, I just wanted to take note of a couple of their recommendations. So they are recommending glutathione, which would help with the impaired detox pathways. But with a person with poor hydrogen sulfide pathways or production, I wouldn't necessarily jump straight to glutathione, because if she has overgrowth of hydrogen sulfide producers higher up in the intestines, then they might actually take that glutathione and incorporate the sulfur for themselves. Okay, and then I also maybe wouldn't jump to doing soil-based microbes either. I might choose probiotics that would help to reduce the ammonia or reduce the hydrogen sulfide producers. The next thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at which microbes she actually has, or at least the ones that showed up on this test. And so she's got quite a few actinomyces. Some of these are good guys for sure, and some of them are associated with the oral microbiome. She's got Akkermansia muciniphila, which is associated with better insulin sensitivity and blood sugar balance, so that's a good thing. There's quite a few allostipes here. Now, this could very well be where the hydrogen sulfide is coming from. However, I would definitely want to see what percent of these microbes is she actually carrying relevant to the rest of her microbes, so that we have like a start and finish, like a starting point and then a finishing point, because you're not going to want to, like, if you have pathogenic microbes in your microbiome, you don't want to necessarily try and nuke them. It's all about balance, right? And that diversity. And so you always want to have a place to start and like a goal ending. So continuing on here, she has quite a few Bacteroides, which could be the source of the ammonia and protein putrefaction. I would say the fact that there are so many Bacteroides here probably means that she either eats a high-fat diet or she does a lot of bile support already. Because Bacteroides are tolerant of bile production. And bile is antimicrobial against a lot of microbes, but not Bacteroides. Okay, so good to see some Blaudia. She does have some Candida, but we don't know what the percent is relative to the rest of the microbes, so I can't say whether that's an issue or not. She had some Clostridium. And Clostridium, they like things like glucose, so if the percent turns out to be elevated, if we run a different test and see elevated Clostridium, well then I would tell her to probably reduce her sugar intake. I want to see her lactobacillus. Haemophilus, depending on the percentage, could be an issue for some. Okay, lactobacillus, only one strain of lactobacillus here, so that's not a good thing. Definitely gonna want to increase the lactobacillus just to support the balance of the gut microbiome. Lactobacillus play a role in serotonin pathways, and they are kind of like our own natural defense system against fungi and fungal overgrowth. And I didn't see any Methanobacter, which is what I was looking for. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the Methanobacter is likely the source of the methane. And Rosaburia, which is good to see, producing butyrate, Ruminococcus navis. So Ruminococcus navis is a microbe that likes to degrade the mucosal lining. So depending on what percent it is, she may or may not need mucosal lining support. Lots of strep here, so I would wonder if she has a history of strep, if she has any histamine intolerance. And that's about it for the significant things. So I hope you guys were able to take away some useful information from that. You got to see what I get out of that, what I can't get out of that. So I guess kind of like the biggest problem that you saw is that we don't get the percents of these different microbes. I don't get to dive into the categories and see, okay, well, which of these microbes is the one producing the end products. And really what I'm going to end up doing with this person is have her move on and do a test where we can see the percentages. All right, so that's it for now. Signing off, and thanks so much for watching.